Hi, everyone. Welcome to the Altcoin Bible. My name's Sam. I'm the head analyst here at CTI. We were doing this in a newsletter format last week and for many weeks previously, but we thought it'd be better to deliver this content in video format, which I really like and allows us to have a look at the charts, be a bit more interactive. So let's crack straight in. I want to just start quickly with Bitcoin for starters, because none of the altcoins, barring a few outliers, will do anything positive until we see some stability with Bitcoin, and we won't see stability with Bitcoin until we see what happens overnight. So tonight coming, which is the 4th today. It'd be the 4th in the US, 4th and 5th in the United States is when the US Federal Reserve, the central bank there, will make their decision on interest rates. And that is having a largely it's pressurizing traditional markets right now. Everyone's sort of on edge, waiting for what that will be. Now, we won't go into detail on that because we want to look at charts today, but suffice to say, we're waiting for that, and everything is holding until we get positive or bad news for a move either way. So I thought I'd just give you some context there. I want to show you Bitcoin, because if we are just looking at the chart in context of the technicals and without if we're pretending that the Federal Reserve and the macro has nothing to do with anything, that nothing was going on there, which is a big if, but if we're just looking at the technicals, I'd say Bitcoin looks to be due for a little bit of a bounce to the upside. We're clearly seeing this descending wedge, see price moving between these lines, getting lower and lower and lower. It's contracting into a narrower channel, which is great to see. And we're folding into this liquidity zone, which is a zone of high liquidity. There's a lot of volume, as you can see on the right-hand side, holding up price as support. If you lose this area, look out below, it'll probably go down to 33,000, and then we have to reevaluate if it's going to go down to 20-something thousand. But just quickly here, price is falling while bullish momentum is climbing. You can see that here on the RSI technical indicator here. See a bounce there, a higher bounce, higher bounce, higher bounce. So bulls are clearly gaining momentum. Sellers are slackening off a little bit while price is moving down. That is a reasonably good indicator. It's called a divergence. And when that does appear on the daily, we tend to see a bounce to the upside. But macro overrides everything. So I wanted to put that in a quick context for you. And most of the altcoins are going to suffer if Bitcoin suffers, which we're seeing, and we've seen for a little while. Now let's get into the 3 coins I want to watch here, because a coin for me that looks to be cherry ripe has gotten a bit of tension lately, and that's GMT. So STEP, it's really interesting crypto if you look into it. But just on the technical sense, it's one of the better looking cryptos right now. It's in a clear uptrend, as you can see here. So peak, peak, peak. And it's just a bunch of higher lows. So the lows here are just higher than the last, which is great to see. Here on the 4-hour, which it's a bit hard to look at this chart because there's not a lot of previous data. So we do have to go into a more zoomed in area as well at the 4-hour. But just looking here, it looks to me like the 4-hour has bottomed out and it's ready to move high. You can see on the MACD, very interesting. It looks like sellers have almost exhausted themselves in these areas, which is an interesting thing to say, and we'll go up to the daily to get more data. But this to me looks reasonably good. And the next 4-hour candle closes in 5 minutes. We'll see. Right now on the 4-hour, just running into a bit of overhead resistance, some of these moving averages, but by and large, the volume's holding it up. It's above the 200. It's showing a lot of relative strength against Bitcoin. So that's what we want to see in these areas. And I'll just go up to the daily and just have a look here. So get rid of that for now, the RSI. But yeah, you can clearly see that is in that uptrend. We're seeing it as resting atop that 21 EMA on the daily, which is that blue line. This movement up has been adhering to the 21 EMA on the way up. So you wouldn't want to lose this. But right now, it's looking okay. Now, this trend line, I've just drawn it there as a diagonal, but diagonals are fairly speculative. So don't pay too much attention to that. What I might just quickly look at is the Fibonacci retracement of this last move. So we're down to the 0.786, which is usually a pretty good area for a crypto that is in an uptrend to bounce back to and then move higher afterwards. So 0.786, if you had your buyers leveled in here at the 21 EMA, looks to be pretty good right now. You can see the move up, move down, bounce, 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 and these candles have closed above it. Next one is there. So the next candle will be very interesting where it goes. But for me, GMT is looking pretty good compared to everything else. Now, another coin that's gained a lot of attention lately, and again, it's another coin with not a lot of data because it was only launched, was it at the beginning of March or back end of March? It's an interesting one, but you can see here, it's in a very interesting position, just a nice clear wave and a nice uptrend up. Unfortunately, it's below that 21 EMA, but again, not a lot of data to either way to show you anything there. But the volume support here on the right-hand side is very interesting, and it's what is holding up the price here. So for me, this is one to watch. It's one of the better looking cryptos. Now, it doesn't look fantastic here, but if it finds support here at this volume support, which it looks like it is, and on this previous move up high here, the local high, this is a very good spot for it to bounce. So it's definitely one to watch. Keep an eye on it. We can see buyers have pretty much exhausted themselves at these levels. $28, $27 is way overextended from fundamental and fair value according to this coin. And now we're seeing buyers really trail off, take their profits and move into the zone here. So how far this corrects, reverses, that remains to be seen. But right now, this is as good a spot as any to watch at $14. You all might have a better understanding of what ApeCoin offers in terms of utility and fundamental value in the short term, but just at the technicals, this is what I'm looking at here, and it is certainly one to watch. Now, a crypto token that I want to highlight, because we have spoken about it a little bit previously in our monthly paid newsletters, but RFOX is a reasonably popular coin. It's based around e-commerce, so reasonably interesting use case, but it's suffered horribly since that high, the 25th of November 21. Since then, it's down by, let's have a quick look, by 92%. So that's a very significant drawdown. But what alarms me about this chart, amongst many others, and I'm not picking on RFOX, there are a few others that look pretty bad as well. This is a long-term held floor. This structural support goes all the way back to the 23rd of July, and the coin, went back a lot further than that. But on this chart specifically, we can see at the very, very bottom, what's happening with the price. We've closed below this huge structural floor. This should come back up here to test that area, but if it cannot break through, this is in a clear danger zone to move lower. The RSI is in historic oversold territory down here, which can indicate that we're close to a reversal, but this is still a bearish indicator. This indicates that sellers are well and truly on top, and it's falling below this key support, and it's got clear air below. I mean, it could make new lows here. And there are a lot of tokens that look very, very similar to this. So I wanted to show you this, and just to highlight as well that just because, the RSI or whatever indicator you're looking at isn't in one extreme, it doesn't mean that, reversal is imminent or it's going to happen anytime soon. It just means that whoever has pushed it there is still in control, and it will take some time. It can last there for days, weeks, months. So just keep that in mind. So RFOX definitely in the gun here. All right, guys, hope you've enjoyed this very quick episode of the Altcoin Bible. We'll catch you again for another video on Friday where we wrap up the week, and then we'll catch you again next week for all our videos. So if you want to keep touch of where we're doing this and where we're releasing this, check out YouTube, check out our free investor group as well if you're not there already. Yeah, you'll see my face soon. So see you guys. Bye.